Owlman. The Owlman, also known as the Cornish Owlman or Owlman of Malnen, is a cryptid reported to inhabit Cornwall, England, UK, particularly around the village of Malnen Smith. Described as a humanoid creature with owl-like features, it is said to have large wings, pointed ears, glowing eyes, and black talons. Reports of the Owlman typically describes it as standing around 5 to 6 feet tall, with a humanoid body covered in feathers, large wings capable of flight, and eyes that emit an eerie glow. Witnesses often report feelings of fear and unease during their encounters. It is said to be sighted around the church towers of St. Martin and St. Stephen's Church. The legend of the Owlman gained significant attention following an incident in 1976, when Tony Doc Shields investigated a report from two young girls, June and Vicky Melling, who claimed to have seen a creature resembling a large feathered birdman above a church tower in Malnen Smith. Their father, Don, immediately cut short their family holiday after hearing their tale. According to Shields, one of the girls provided him with a drawing of the creature, which he dubbed the Owlman. Owlman was reported again on 3rd July by two 14-year-old girls identified as Sally Chapman and Barbara Perry, who were aware of the Owlman tale. According to the story, the two girls were camping when they were confronted by a big owl with pointed ears as big as a man, with glowing eyes and black pincer-like claws. Sporadic claims of Owlman sightings in the vicinity of the church circulated in 1978, 1979, 1989, and 1995, and according to legend, a large owl-like sound could be heard at night in the Mullion churchyard during the year 2000. Brazilian werewolf. The Brazilian werewolf, also known as the lobisomem, is a creature said to roam the countryside of Brazil, particularly in the southern region. The lobisomem is a humanoid creature with supernatural powers, capable of transforming into a wolf-like being. Descriptions of the Brazilian werewolf vary, but common characteristics include a humanoid figure with wolf-like features such as fur, claws, and fangs. In human form, they are often described as ordinary individuals who may exhibit unusual behavior or physical traits that hint at their supernatural nature. The most notable difference from the traditional werewolf is that the Brazilian lobisomem does not become a wolf, but something usually described as a cross between a dog and a pig with red eyes, a black coat, long ears, and a putrid odor, and front legs that are shorter than the back, as if they still retain their human proportions. In Brazil, there are many versions of how you would become a lobisomem, varying according to the region. One version says that a boy born after the succession of 7 girls is going to turn into a lobisomem every Friday night from his 13th birthday. In some regions, instead of transforming during a full moon, the lobisomem transforms at midnight on Friday at a crossroad. Once transformed, he goes out at night in search of blood, ferociously killing everything that moves. While the Brazilian werewolf is a well-known figure in Latin American folklore, there have been several real-life encounters reported in recent years that share striking similarities with legend. These encounters involve humanoid creatures with unusual physical characteristics and behavior often seen in rural areas near forests. The first reported sighting was by a Brazilian newspaper on Friday, July 13, 1990. According to the article, a group of rubber tappers working in the region heard the cries of a calf and came face to face with the monster devouring the animal. The creature was described as being bipedal, about 3 meters tall, with a face similar to that of a wolf and a body covered with black fur. Its most peculiar feature, however, are its 2 eyes, one on its forehead and the other one on its belly. Attacks on calves and a child that occurred in the municipality of Seringal, Sardinia in the early 1990s were attributed to the lobisomem. 4chan Grey Alien. The 4chan Grey Alien is a creature that originated on the internet message board 4chan. On November 21st, 2018, an anonymous user on 4chan had posted an image to the paranormal board of what was claimed to be an alien. The alien resembled a typical grey alien but with slight differences. Instead of purely black eyes, it had discernible pupils and an iris. It was also taller than grey aliens are usually described. The image was accompanied with the following text. This was a picture that was taken from inside a car that I was working on. Full story was that I was working on it about at 11 p.m. and I heard a bang on the front of the car. I thought it was a raccoon, so I took a picture with a flash to scare it off. But when I took a picture, I got this. Having seen this, I turned on my flashlight only to see that it had disappeared. I had matched up the picture next to the car and the wall behind it, and measured how tall it would be, and it was about 8 feet. Can anybody tell me if this was a prank on me or if this was real? Honestly, I think it's real. After extensive digging by fellow users of the board, it was determined to be a hoax. Intulo. The legend of Intulo dates back thousands of years, intertwining with both Xhosa and Zulu mythology. Although detailed discoveries are sparse, most contemporary visual accounts depict Intulo as a lizard-like creature with human characteristics. Imagine a bipedal reptilian being, a scaly body adorned with sharp claws and a long tail. Some accounts suggest that it possesses a distinctive frill around its neck, akin to that of a frilled lizard. However, the accuracy of these claims remains uncertain. Due to its reptilian characteristics, some people claim that it is a distant relative of the elusive gator men that are said by some to dwell in the swamps of the US or perhaps even in the legendary Saurians. In Zulu mythology, Intulo played a pivotal role. The Great One, the creator deity of the Zulu people, tasked Intulo with delivering a profound message to humanity. Everything, be it human, animals, or plants, will eventually die and nothing remains forever. Intulo was sent to bring this message since Unwaba, the chameleon, which was supposed to bring immortality to all living things on earth, was taking too long to journey to the world to deliver the gift of immortality. While Unwaba moved very slow, Intulo was able to move very fast. Intulo delivered its message and returned to where it came from. Unwaba arrived, but not wanting to contradict the Great One, decided not to deliver immortality to all life. Thus, Intulo is remembered as the lizard which brought death to the world, dooming all life born into the world since creation to die. A man of smoke. Mike is a 50-year-old man with a background in electrical engineering and had a bizarre encounter with an alien elemental entity on December 20, 2003 in California's Litchfield. Mike's encounter began on a clear winter night. The moon was bright and the sky was clear, providing perfect visibility. Mike, who lived alone on a secluded dead-end street, stepped outside to clear his mind after working on a challenging project for IBM. As he looked up, he noticed a dark, cigar-like body hovering silently above his yard. Initially, he thought it was a blimp, but its lack of lights and unusual behavior quickly dispelled that notion. Suddenly, a flash of pink light illuminated the sky and a figure appeared in Mike's yard. This figure, which Mike described as a man made of smoke, was about 7 feet tall and very slim. The moonlight illuminated its form, revealing a humanoid shape without distinct facial features or hand. The figure began to move towards Mike's front door, causing the neighborhood dogs to howl and bark in alarm. As the figure approached, Mike called out, asking if he could help. The entity continued its slow advance, now less than 100 feet away. Mike, feeling a mix of fear and curiosity, retreated into his house and closed the door. Almost immediately, the light in his home went out and the phone lines went dead. The situation escalated when loud pounding noises began to emanate from the door and walls, causing objects to fly off shelves. In a state of panic, Mark armed himself with a baseball bat and descended the stairs, only to hear strange, unintelligible voices in his room. The voices sounded like a chant or prayer in an unknown language. Despite his fear, Mike entered the living room, swinging the bat widely and causing further damage to his belongings. Then all of a sudden, the voices stopped and the lights went back on. Still scared, Mike called the police. In 10 minutes, 2 officers came and took a report. The officers didn't believe him and thought he was drunk or on drugs. According to Mike, that was the first time he had ever encountered something of the supernatural. Pascagoula Elephant Men. The Pascagoula Elephant Men, more commonly known as the Pascagoula Abduction, is one of the most intriguing and widely discussed UFO encounters in American history. This incident, which took place in the evening of October 11, 1973, involved 2 men, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, who claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrial beings while fishing on the Pascagoula River in Mississippi. Charles Hickson, then 42, and Calvin Parker, 19, were fishing off a pair pair on the west bank of the Pascagoula River when they heard a whirring sound and saw two flashing blue lights. They reported seeing an oval-shaped object about 30 to 40 feet across and 80 to 10 feet high descended near them. According to their account, three creatures emerged from the craft. These beings were described as having a pale greyish color with long arms ending in claw-like appendages and legs and feet resembling those of an elephant. Hickson and Parker claimed they were paralyzed but conscious as the creatures took them aboard the object. Inside, they were subjected to a physical examination by a machine that resembled a giant eyeball. After the examination, they were returned to the pair, physically unharmed but deeply shaken by the experience. They described the creatures as being roughly humanoid in shape and standing about 5 feet tall. The creature's skin was pale in color and wrinkled like an elephant, and they had no eyes that the men could discern and slits for mouths. Their heads also appeared connected directly to their shoulders, with no discernible neck. There were 3 carrot-like growths instead, one where the nose would be on a human, the other 2 where the ears would normally be. The beings held lobster-like claws at the ends of their arms, and they seemed to have one leg. Hickson later described the creatures' lower bodies as looking as if their legs were fused together, ending in elephant-like feet. Hickson also reported that the creatures moved in mechanical robotic ways. The story of the Pascagoula abduction quickly gained national attention. Hickson and Parker reported the incident to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, where they were interrogated and even secretly recorded. These recordings revealed that both men were genuinely terrified, adding some credibility to their claims. Despite the initial media frenzy, skepticism soon followed. Aviation journalist and UFO skeptic Philip J. Klass found discrepancies in Hickson's story. Klass concluded that the case was likely a hoax. Other skeptics like Joe Nickel pointed out that Hickson's behavior was questionable and that he later altered or embellished his claims. Dogman. The Dogman is often described as a 7-foot-tall, bipedal, canine-like animal with blue, amber or red eyes that glow in the dark and the torso of a man. Its hull is said to resemble a human scream. According to legend, the Michigan Dogman appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on the years ending in 7. The Dogman has been subject of numerous sightings and legends, especially in Michigan. The legend of the Dogman dates back to 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. The first reported sighting involved 2 lumberjacks who claimed to have seen a creature with a man's body and a dog's head. In 1937, Robert Fortney was attacked by 5 wild dogs near Paris, Michigan. He claimed that one of the dogs stood up on 2 legs and looked him in the eye. In 1967, a couple in Manistee reported seeing a large hairy creature running across the road on 2 legs. Catalonia Fallen Angel. The Catalonia fallen angel is described as nearly skeletal with a body that closely resembles that of a human. Its appearance suggests a state of severe malnutrition or a condition that affects its physical form. The creature's eyes are reported to glow. The most distinctive characteristic is the growth on its back, which resembles featherless wings akin to those of a molting bird. The sighting of the Catalonia fallen angel took place at 1:13 a.m. on June 11, 2006. The creature was filmed by 2 men who were exploring the forest at night. The video footage, which has circulated widely on the internet, shows a humanoid figure with skeletal features and glowing eyes. Several theories have been proposed to explain the nature of the Catalonia fallen angel. Some believe that the creature could be an undiscovered species of humanoid, a cryptid that has managed to evade scientific detection. Another theory suggests that the creature might be a human hermit, suffering from severe mental illness and physical deformities, living in isolation in the forest. Given its unsettling appearance, some speculate that the Catalonia fallen angel could be a demonic entity or a supernatural being. Varginha UFO Incident. The Varginha UFO incident is one of the most intriguing and controversial UFO cases in modern history. It took place on January 1996 in Brazil. These incidents have often been compared to the famous Roswell incident in the United States due to its mysterious nature and the alleged involvement of extraterrestrial beings. The incident began on January 20th, 1996, when three young women, Lillian and Valkyria Silva and their friend Katia Andrade, reported seeing a strange creature in a vacant lot. The creature was described as being about 4 feet tall, oily brown skin with spot-like veins, a large head and red eyes. The women noted that the creature appeared to be injured or sick and it emitted a foul odor. Terrified, they fled the scene and reported their encounters to their mother, describing the creature as the devil. Following the initial sighting, rumors began to spread throughout Varginha. Many residents claimed to have seen UFOs in the days leading up to and following the encounter. Some reports included sighting of additional creatures and strange activities involving the military and local authorities. There were even claims that extraterrestrial beings were captured and taken to a local hospital for examination. The Brazilian military conducted an official investigation into the incident. Their findings concluded that the young women had likely encountered a homeless, mentally unstable man known as Mundinho, whose appearance and behavior may have been mistaken for that of an extraterrestrial being. The military also stated that the movements of military personnel and vehicles in the area were routine and unrelated to UFO activities. Despite these official explanations, many ufologists and local residents remained unconvinced. They argued that the government's explanations were part of a cover-up to hide the true nature of the events. Some even claimed that the military had captured extraterrestrial beings and were conducting secret experiments. Monkey Man of Delhi. The Monkey Man of Delhi, also known as the Face Scratcher, is an urban legend from Indian history. This mysterious figure reportedly terrorized the streets of Delhi in mid-2001, causing widespread panic and hysteria. The first report of the Monkey Man emerged in May 2001. Eyewitness accounts described a creature that was part monkey, part man, standing about 4 feet tall, covered in thick black hair and possessing glowing red eyes. Some description included bizarre details such as a metal helmet, metal claws, and even roller skates. Others, however, describe the Monkey Man as having a more vulpine snout and being up to 8 feet tall and muscular. It will leap from building to building. The creature was said to attack people at night, leaving scratches and bite marks. Over 350 sightings were reported and around 60 people were injured in the ensuing panic. The fear was so intense that 2 or 3 people reportedly died after falling from buildings or down stairwells while trying to escape what they believed was an attack. The Delhi police even released artist sketches based on eyewitness descriptions in an attempt to capture the creature. The Monkey Man phenomenon is often cited as a classic example of mass hysteria. Mass hysteria occurs when a group of people exhibit similar hysterical symptoms, often influenced by rumors and media reports. In the case of the Monkey Man, the media played a significant role in amplifying the fear. Sensationalist news coverage and constant updates on sightings kept the public in a state of high alert. Psychologists suggest that the Monkey Man sightings were likely as a result of combination of factors, including stress, fear, and the power of suggestion. The early 2000s were a time of significant social and economic change in India, which may have contributed to the collective anxiety that manifested in the form of the Monkey Man. The Toronto Tunnel Monster. The Toronto Tunnel Monster, also known as the Cabbagetown Tunnel Monster, is a cryptid that reportedly inhabits the underground tunnels and waterways of Toronto, Canada. The story of the Toronto Tunnel Monster begins with a man named Ernest, who lived in the Cabbagetown district of Toronto. In August 1978, while searching for a missing kitten near his apartment building, 51-year-old Ernest ventured into a dark tunnel. About 10 feet in, he encountered a creature that would haunt his memories. Describing the encounter to a reporter from the Toronto Sun, Ernest recalled seeing a living nightmare. Armed with only a flashlight, Ernest encountered a creature of unknown origin. He described the monster as long and thin, almost like a monkey, 3 feet long, large teeth, weighing maybe 30 pounds, with slate grey fur. However, it was orange-red and slanted eyes that truly stood out. What made the encounter even more chilling was that the creature spoke to Ernest, warning him to go away in a hissing voice. Terrified, Ernest fled the tunnel and later shared his experience with the newspaper, though he feared people would think he was crazy or drunk. Several theories attempted to explain the existence of the tunnel monster. Some suggest it could be a misidentified animal such as a stray dog or an overgrown beaver. Others believe it might be a supernatural entity or an undiscovered species living in the city's underground network. The fact that the tunnel entrance was found partially collapsed after the sighting adds to the mystery, with some speculating that the creature itself might have caused the collapse to prevent further intrusions. Black stick men. Black stick men are described as tall, stick figure-like entities that lack any facial features such as eyes, nose, or mouth. They are often depicted as being entirely two-dimensional, resembling the simplistic stick figure drawn by children. Despite their simplistic appearance, these entities are reported to instill a profound sense of fear and unease in those who witness them. One of the most distinctive features of the black stick men is their two-dimensional nature. No matter the angle from which they are viewed, they always appear flat, as if they were drawn on a piece of paper. They do not cast shadows and are often described as having an electrical or static charge, which can cause lightheadedness or dizziness to those nearby. Additionally, their movements are often erratic and unnatural, further adding to their unsettling presence. There are several theories attempting to explain their existence. One theory suggests that they are interdimensional beings capable of shifting between different planes of reality. This would explain their two-dimensional appearance and the strange otherworldly sensation reported by witnesses. Another theory is that black stick men are ancient entities, possibly linked to the beings depicted in cave drawings from prehistoric times. Some believe these drawings are evidence of human encounters with these cryptids, suggesting that they have been present on Earth for a millennia. This theory aligns with the idea that black stick men could be ancient alien beings or travelers from other dimensions. There are also more psychological explanations for the phenomenon. Some suggest that the black stick men could be manifestations of the human psyche, similar to tulpas or doppelgangers. This theory is supported by reports of people seeing those entities during times of extreme stress or fatigue, indicating that they might be projections of the mind rather than physical beings. During an expedition, cryptozoologist Mark Wolfgang Miller went looking for the black stick man near the small town of Beaufort, Wyoming, and their results were astonishing. They came within 6 feet of the black stick man. It was unbelievably tall and thin as a twig. The cryptozoologist snapped a photo, but to no avail. The photo taken didn't clearly show the creature due to trees in the background. Encounters with black stick men are relatively rare but often leave a lasting impact on those who experience them. Witnesses frequently report feelings of aggression, agitation, and fear during and after their encounters. Despite these negative emotions, there are no confirmed reports of black stick men causing physical harm to individuals. Ningen. The Ningen is typically described as a massive, pale white creature with a humanoid appearance. It is said to be between 20 to 30 meters long, with a torso, appendages, and fingers similar to those of a human. The creature's face is often depicted with minimal features, including small, slit-like mouth with 2 large vacuous eyes. Some descriptions also include a mermaid-like tail. There are 2 main variations in the Ningen's appearance. The first describes it as a large aquatic whale-like creature with human-like features. The second, less common description portrays it as a smaller terrestrial organism with a large head and humanoid legs wandering the icy landscapes of Antarctica. The legend of the Ningen began in the mid-2000s on Japanese online forum 2channel. According to the initial post, members of a whale research ship witnessed a massive human-like figure surfacing near their vessel off the coast of Antarctica. Initially mistaking it for a submarine, the crew was stunned when the submarine vanished into the waves. This account sparked widespread interest and led to the numerous alleged sightings and reports of the Ningen. In 2005, Google Earth captured an image many believed to be a Ningen near the Southern Ocean. However, skeptics argued that it was merely an iceberg resembling the creature.